Today's video, we're talking about thumbnail optimization. Now, this is something everyone who's doing videos on YouTube needs to think about. You need to be optimizing your thumbnail, treating it like the front page of your video. Think of it like a website and this is your homepage, I guess is the best way to put it. It's something that people are going to see right away in search results, and it's going to influence whether they want to click onto your video or not. Let me show you what we're working on here. So this is a thumbnail for my travel YouTube channel. I'm putting this together in Canva while I wait for the video to upload. It's a very simple video. It's like a travel vlog style video. For those kind of simple videos, thumbnails can be a little bit tricky, right? So really the key with YouTube thumbnails is to understand basic photography. And I mean basic, like I'm not a photographer, so just very baseline principles like blurring and depth of field and lighting to a very small degree. And you can start by doing a lot of research. So whatever kind of video content you're making for your business or leisure, go into YouTube, do some searches and kind of see what people are currently doing for thumbnails. For this style of video, which is like a travel vlog, like I said, this is really the style that's people are using now. And this is the style that I typically use on my travel channel. First of all, you want to have a picture of yourself or somebody's face. Having the days of YouTube video thumbnails being just a blank image with no people in it or no authentic people in it, those days are gone. People aren't really clicking on those videos anymore. People want to see videos of actual people looking at them, talking to them, looking into their soul. And it just makes the video content more relatable, I think. I know me personally, when I'm clicking on video content, it could be in any niche, whether it's travel, business, sports, like anything. You want to see people's faces, the actual person's face in the YouTube thumbnail. It's going to make you want to click on it. It just feels more authentic. So the first thing I do is I render the video, right? Rendering the video is when you're editing a YouTube video and you're finished editing it, then you export it. That's when the render process happens. You're creating the file that you're going to end up uploading onto YouTube, the video file. So I take the video file, I open it, I test it, make sure it's working before I upload it. But while I'm testing it, I'll kind of poke through the video and look for interesting background images. So I always start thinking about the background image in my videos. And I'll try to find something that is either visually appealing, like in travel content, it's all about the visual, and or something that is kind of quirky or different, right? And so this is an instance where it's a little more on the quirky, different side. A lot of my videos, we're in Australia right now, so a lot of my video content is going to be more the landscapes and the beautiful stuff that kind of takes care of itself. But for this particular video, this is more of a walk and talk, talking about health and exercise, things like that. So I am taking a still shot of this running group that was running towards me when I was walking on the vlog. And I did a couple things here. Instead of just taking the image as it is in its normal state, basically I duplicated the image. So what I use is Canva here for editing. Canva is a really inexpensive tool. Everyone should use it if they're making YouTube content or any video content. It's great for Instagram, TikTok, all those other platforms as well. But what I did was I took the image of the people running past me, I duplicated it. I'll show you. So I duplicated it. So this is the base image back here, right? And what I did was I went to edit, and then I added an effect down here, a blur effect. And I applied this blur effect to the whole image. So you can see here, unblurred, they look normal. Add the blur. It's like that, right? And the goal here, what I then did was I duplicated the image, like I said, and then there's a feature here with Canva Pro called Background Remover. And what this does is it isolates the subjects in the image and removes the background. It removes all their surroundings. So what you end up with is it really helps for making the scene look more interactive. This is another part of YouTube thumbnail optimization that's key. You want it to feel as interactive as possible for being an image, because there's only so much you can do in an image to make it feel more three-dimensional. But one easy thing you can do is what I just showed you here, where you duplicate an image, you remove the background from one of the images, from the image overlay. And so you end up with just the subjects in the image that are standing out. And because I blurred the background, they're really standing out. And the other thing that I'm doing here too, I'm able to have it so that they look like they are over the letters in the text that I'm using here. And that's a key component for that three-dimensional look, right? So having this guy's head over the L just adds a little subtle something here, right? Having this person over the question mark, little subtleness, but those kind of things go a long way in making the image feel a little bit more interactive. And when somebody sees that image, it might make it stand out a little more. And then over here, I have myself. This is from a different scene in the vlog. And what I did here is I just did a background remover on myself and then put myself in over the background. So how I always start these, I start back to front. I start with the background. I did the duplication. I got the people isolated like that. I added the blur. And then I grabbed myself to layer on top of it. And the thinking here is I want to have the face take up more than half the screen, really. So I have a big head in general, so that helps. But you can see I blew this up so that it's almost filling the entire screen, like from top to bottom here, which is another way to garner attention because people are going to see that big face, looking basically at them like that. The other thing I did too, so you want to do some lighting compensations to make it stand out more. So what I did, because it's really bad lighting on me, is I'm going to up the brightness even more here. What I did, you can see here with zero brightness, you can barely see me. That's what it naturally looks like. I up the brightness here, and it makes me stand out a lot more. And I think I'm going to up it to like up here, honestly. You want thumbnails to be a little, dare I say, like, I don't want to say cartoony, but you know what I mean. You want them to really pop like that. So this is going to, this obviously is way brighter than I would have the actual video for myself, but it makes it stand out a little bit more. I also turn up the temperature, so the temperature is at 0. I feel like it brings in a little too much of the blues. It looks a little drab. We're in the tropics, so you want it to be more lively anyway. When I raise the temperature up to the 30s, it just adds a little more color to me. I'm a kind of a more pale skin guy anyway. So it adds a little bit of tone, a little bit of color to me. And so this is pretty much ready to go. Like that, pretty much ready to go. And what I'll typically do is in YouTube, this kind of ties into just YouTube optimization in general. But what you want to do is there's a new A/B testing tool in YouTube. So what you can do is you can click on it. You can test the titles. So this is my current title. That's a pretty bad title, honestly. I think I'm going to definitely test this against a couple other versions. But you can also test the thumbnail. So I could have this as one draft. I could add a different draft that's maybe I want to have more of the mountainside, more of the landscape views, like I was saying before. That's another kind of direction you can go in these thumbnails. I might want to do that and test them against each other. But these are kind of, for this sake of this video, I just wanted to go over those main kind of principles of YouTube thumbnail optimization that are big right now. This is really how you do it. And if you're a business owner and you have a local business that you want to create content for, these are the principles you're going to want to follow in 2026. And another thing I wanted to show you. So for myself, there's one more thing I wanted to add to this. You can see this is what the image looks like. Actually, the stock image here is pretty decent with the background, but I think for what I'm talking about, it works better as is. Another thing I want to do to myself is add a shadow. It's called glow, and you can increase it, decrease it, whatever. I usually I leave it pretty much in stock form. I don't want to have it super exaggerated, but just a little bit, kind of like that. Just a subtle little glow on me. And it depends on the background. In this case, since the background's a little bit lighter, I think I'll leave it as black. Sometimes I will change this color to a lighter color and see how that looks. A little bit of glow just livens it up slightly, and then I would just expand myself there to fit in the way I had it. And kind of like that. Then yeah, and bring this back in, layer it like that, and voila. We have ourselves a decent YouTube thumbnail. Now, this is very basic what I'm doing here. This isn't like any sort of advanced education on Canva at all. There's way more advanced things you can do. I think I'm going to make several more videos about this and kind of get into more of the weeds. But For basic YouTube content, you don't have to get crazy. You know, I think a lot of times people overthink the whole thumbnail process when it comes to YouTube, and you want to go as basic as possible with your thumbnails. One other thing I like to add too, since it is travel content, adding the flag of the country, I think adds a lot to the quality of the thumbnail. So typically what I'll do is I'll add flag here, usually, you know, underneath the text area. I want to make sure I'm showing the runners, so I'm gonna actually might move this in a little bit, maybe to right there, something like that. Or you could even, like I said, make it a little more 3D, so I could tuck the corner in behind me right there, so I can layer this layer this back like that, and that just makes it look a little more three-dimensional, like I'm in front of the flag kind of thing. So anyway, but yeah, this is a very basic sort of thumbnail creation that I'm showing you right now. But in 2026, it works really well, and we've you know, we have a fairly small channel. This travel channel is not huge, but we have some videos that have, you know, gotten tens of thousands of views, and I think a lot of it is the thumbnail creation, because yeah, when you're a smaller channel, you're kind of more reliant on that kind of thing. But no matter what size you are, you want to make sure the thumbnails are optimized. This is a big part of YouTube SEO. My background is SEO, mostly website SEO, but YouTube SEO is another huge component of SEO in 2026 and beyond, especially now that videos are ranking in AI search, and it's just much more important to have a strong video presence than it ever has been. So making sure that you have your thumbnails optimized is super, super key. One other thing that I want to do while I'm thinking about it here to get to this. The only thing about adding all these layers is it's hard to get back to some of these things. You have to move them aside for a second. I also want to add a shadow effect to the flag. I think I'll do an outline for this, just to add a little something to it. Very subtle outline, but just a little something to it. Lower the intensity too. I don't want it to be crazy intense, but just a little something. Okay, move that back in. Actually, I got to move myself back in. I disappeared. There I am. I'll move these runners back in, and boom. That's pretty much our, oops. There you go. Boom. All right, that's pretty much our thumbnail that we're going to test out here. And yeah, another nice thing about blurring the background that I was talking about at the beginning, it makes it easier to read text. So you can see here that I have some white text here that if the background's too sharpened, it can be difficult to read. So blurring it out kind of helps with that. And that's another thing I try to do in all these thumbnails. So in Canva, you can copy existing templates to use. I always use the same template for the same YouTube channel. You need to have that consistency across your thumbnails. That's super important. Viewers kind of learn to expect that from your videos. They expect them to look a certain way in the thumbnail. So it's going to help you get your subscribers to recognize your content and start to come back to your content more frequently. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. I want to put out a lot more of this style of content, just kind of showing you, you know, some of the basics for YouTube SEO, website SEO, and just overall enhancing your digital presence in 2026, because this stuff is changing by the second, and it's important to stay as up to date as you can. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon. Peace.